One of the questions I get asked quite a bit is that people are trying to do things inside code blocks, and I've been doing things inside Visual Studio. Now, for whatever reason, the people that ask this aren't able to install Visual Studio. And I think it's more to do with it that if you go to the download section here, you can download the binary release, and then there's an option here that allows you to install code blocks with no admin privileges. So I think this is the reason why people are using code blocks, is because you can install it with no admin privileges. I'm not entirely sure if you can do that with Visual Studio. I think Visual Studio needs to be kind of tied in there, so that's the reason why people are using it. However, I've downloaded this IDE and I have no idea. I have never used code blocks before, so this is not a tutorial. This is me just trying to figure out how we can get the code that I've written, which is in here, outside of here and into code blocks. So the first thing is I want to change this class here. So right now main is has this pragma comment here, and this is the reason why everything fails for code blocks and other editors. This here is a Microsoft, I think it's a Visual C++ compiler, no, preprocessor directive. It's a preprocessor directive because it's got the hash there, or the pound symbol, whatever you want to call it. Now this instructs the preprocessor to include this library file. So what we're going to do is we're going to do right click and go to properties, and inside C++ there's a general tab, no, inside the linker there's an input tab here, and there's a thing in here that says additional dependencies, and you see there's a long list here. If you go over to the drop down box here and then click on edit, you'll see that these are the list of the additional dependencies, and Winsock is not in there. So if I add ws2_32.lib, which I think is the right one, and of course there's no way to get back to it, and then click on OK, and then apply, and then OK, you should see that be the right one there. So ws2_32.lib, OK. And now what we can do is we can get rid of that line. So now the project itself has the reference, and now our source code should, and I use the word loosely, should just work. So I will run this just to confirm, and I'll start the server, and that's us there, putty, there we go, putty, and then localhost barebones local, and then click on open, and there you go, Firefly connected on there, hello, and then we get hello back. So that's good. Everything's working as expected, and nothing has changed. The only difference, well, nothing has changed except that we removed that pragma line. So now our code should be at least more portable than it was before. So I'm going to use this same file, and hopefully we don't run into any problems with using the same file. All right, so what I want to do is, now that we've fixed up our C# our C++ project, I want to, so this is got projects, I don't know, file, open, and then I'm gonna add my main here, and I guess I want to save a project, save workspace as. Like, so this is my first time. Okay, maybe project. So how do you add a new project? Empty file? Is that a new project? No. No. Start here. Create a new project. But there are no projects. So we're back to where we were before. Open an existing project. Visual Studio project files. Okay, so we got Visual Studio project files. That's not bad. Except it's not finding them. So maybe I can open that there. Probably want to open. Yeah, there you go. No extension handler could be found. Okay. Well, we're doing great here. So I can't compile this project. Set program arguments. How do you, I mean, do I have to go and, obviously I'm going to cut this up, but let me, okay. Getting started. Alright, so here's getting started guide. How to install code blocks and get started with C++ programming. We're back to basics here, folks. Okay, creating a new project, file new, writing toy programs without creating a project, writing programs under project. Okay, other than few-line toy programs, you create a project for each application. Select file, new project, console application, go. Where are the project files? Now, you'd think if I did file, new, project, I would have projects in here, but I don't. So maybe I need to download them. Templates. Code blocks. Okay, the template. How do I use custom templates? I don't want custom templates. I just want the templates that are in there. Did I not install the template? Like, there's tons there. I don't understand why I don't have that. See, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here, which is clearly what I should have. Now, all I did was I installed code blocks. So, okay, let me go and go back to downloads again. You know what? I'll maybe do a short version of this, and I'll keep the longer version, just to show that this was a pain in the backside. Okay, let's just run code block setup again. Next, and next, I agree, and then default install full plugins. Right, there's nothing else there, is there? Core files required. Let me just close this down just now. Nope. Default install all plugins, tools, everything. Next. I'm going to put it where I put it last time. Install. Does already exist. Click on OK. Yep. So I'm hoping that this will actually install something as opposed to not install anything. Yeah, I do want to run code blocks now. Okay. And installation is complete. Finish. Okay. Compiler auto detection. No compiler detected. Huh. Well, this will probably be the reason why I can't install it. Okay. So now what? Current default compiler is GNU C GCC. So no compiler detected. Okay. But I should be able to get new project, and there they are. Okay. File, new project, and then the project we want is, we don't want DirectX, we just want a console application, and then click on okay, and then next I want, it's C++, project title bare bones code blocks. Folder to create project in will be, I hate these blooming folder dialog boxes. These are the worst folder dialog boxes ever. You can't just paste a value in. Or can you? Maybe you can. Maybe I'm just being stupid. No, you can't. I thought that, do you know what that would be nice? Is if you go and grab a path, click on here and then press Control V and it just takes you to there. There's a top tip to all you developers out there at Microsoft that code Windows. Okay, so now I've got to go and find this. Okay, so it is in my PC H repositories, loan, YouTube repository, C++, networking, BarebonesServer, BarebonesServer, which is that one there. So click on OK, and the resulting file name is that. That's fine. So the project is that. Then click on Next. So now I get to choose. Well, that's just weird. So I don't see the one I have. So I'm going to choose the most recent compatible one, which is Visual C++ 2010. I'm hoping it'll work. We'll see. Debug is fine. Release is fine. Click on Finish. That's a good question. Let's go back to here. Properties. So, what's it asking? Multi-threaded dynamic CRT mode. Multi-threaded dynamic CRT mode. Where would I see that inside here? C++? No, that would be in linker maybe. General. Let's see it. So, which probably means it's not there. So I'm gonna guess. I'm sure it would be use of MSC. No, that's the one I remember from last time. Okay, I think we're good. So I'm gonna click on multi-threaded dynamic, multi-threaded static. I'm going to click on no. We'll see what happens. Okay, so it was no wrong. All right, let's see if I can. Right, okay, it's clearly not me. What the heck? File, recent projects. There's no recent projects. Import C++ project. Okay, well, let's try that. Let's try this. Microsoft Visual Studio Solution. All right, let's try that. So we'll import this, click on OK. Do you want the imported project to use the default compiler? No, I don't. Do you want the import all? Yes. Okay, and I want this compiler here. And click on OK. Doesn't have a correctly defined debugger. Okay. So at least I have the main file here. Good grief. All right. Let's see if I can compile it. Build. Yeah, there you go. So that failed. So I don't. It's not easy to do this code blocks thing. Especially when you've never used it before. Okay. So let's see if we can change the properties of that compiler. So settings compiler. All right. Okay. So global compiler settings, profiler settings. Can I change the compiler? Compiler, build options, other settings, cancel. How do I change the compiler? Let me, where are we? Code blocks, change compiler path. How can I update the code blocks used? Toolchain executables. Settings, compiler. Okay, it's not, that's not the one I want this one. Okay, toolchain executables. And then it's not in there. I want it to go to, I have to hunt for it because I don't know where I put it. I think I put it on the iDrive. Program files. No. I did put it on here. Program files. Microsoft Visual Studio 2014. I do have 10. What? Oh, I don't. I think 12 is the sort of one that I want. I'm going to put that in here and then click on OK. Maybe not. Let's try the next one up. 14. VC. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, found it. All right, okay, so go to compiler. Choose Microsoft Visual C++ 2010, which is not 2010. And then I'm going to change it to this path here, which is my latest version of Visual Studio. I'm going to click on OK, and no complaints. So there's a little, you can't see it, but it's over my picture. There was a little complainty thing there. So I'm going to build this and then see if it builds. Okay, it built. That's good. So it says cannot open include file, IOStream, no such file, or directory. So now we have to go and hunt all directory paths. This will be fun. So unfortunately, I think the problem is you're not going to be able to do this. And the reason why you're not going to be able to do this is because you are using you're going to be using code blocks, which means you probably are using the GCC compiler, which probably means you don't have access to any of this stuff, because although I have access to the compiler, you're not going to have access to the compiler. And this is something I've just realized. So this video is kind of a bust. However, let's see if we can get it to work with GNU. So I will do properties, and let's see if we can get this back to the default one. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that workspace, and I'm going to do File. Okay. Right. So we need to get this to work with GNU Unix. So what we're going to do is we are going to say we're going to import it in. So if you want to go and grab this from the repository, if I just give me 2 seconds, bitbucket.org. Okay, if you go to my repository, and you'll be able to download BarebonesServer. Now, inside BarebonesServer is the Microsoft Visual Studio solution file. So I have that downloaded already. So what I'm going to do is I am going to do File, and then there's an import project, and you can choose whatever version you want. So I'm going to choose Microsoft Visual Studio Solution. So I'm going to then choose the BarebonesServer and then click on OK. It says, do you want the importer file to use the default compiler? The default compiler is GCC, so I'm going to say yep. Do you want to import all the configurations, debug release? Yep, sure. I've already tried this in a previous attempt, which I've removed, so I'm going to say overwrite. And now, now the problem I have is I don't have GCC, so I'm going to do build, and it's going to say it can't find GCC. So I'm going to go ahead and do that just now, and then I'll come back and we'll start from there. Okay. So just to show you what I'm doing here in the long version of this video, MinGW setup, I'm going to click on download, and it's going to go ahead and download that, and I'm going to go and install that into hopefully the same location as this is complaining about here. So it's looking for it in this default location. So I'm going to do that right now, and I'll cut it out of the main video as well as this one, because otherwise it's going to be, you know, taking too long for these things to come to fruition, so to speak. So it gives you a bit of a hint here. It says can't find it, compiler setup, toolchain, blah 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 blah. So if we go to settings, compiler, because I installed it on my iDrive, because that's where I keep all my apps. So I'm going to go across to toolchain executables, and you see how it says CMingW. I'm just going to go into my program files, code blocks, MinGW, and paste that value in there, and then click on OK. And now it should build. Well, it'll build, but it'll fail for reasons that we'll come into just next. Okay, so that's good. So the first thing is it says error main must return int. Okay, so we can fix that. That should be reasonably easy to fix. And then the other one is getnameinfo is not declared in the scope. inet ntop was not declared in the scope, and we can also fix that as well. So the easy one is just to change it from void to int, and then at the very bottom here, just at the very end where it says system pause, we're going to do return 0, and that's it. Let me just make that text a little bit bigger for you. So remember, this is the same code that we have here now. The difference is that we don't have access. Well, we'll probably get access to these because these are fairly common in the library. In fact, let's have a look inside here. So this is the install folder. So if we go inside the includes here, and then scroll down, you should see that we've got, maybe it's in C++, GDI+. It'll be in here somewhere. That will be, these are all H files. Are they? Yeah, I think they're all .h files. There should be files in there somewhere. Anyway, It's not important right now. That's where the include files are. So there should also be inside sys. There should be a file as well, and then there's probably an inet in here. So what we're going to do is we're going to change the header files up here, and this is where having separate headers and classes and all that kind of stuff comes in handy, because depending on what project you're going to bring in, you're going to change these different values. So for now, I'm going to cheat, and I'm going to comment out these lines here. Okay, I'm not going to use them. What I am going to use though is I'm going to go to programming, and then we're good for programming, and then I'm going to go to with those commented out. What we're going to do is we include Winsock 2.h. I think it's Winsock 2.h. Okay, let's go to build options, and then we go to linker settings, add, and then we're going to choose, well, it's not in there, it is in here, this library file folder here. So we're going to choose lib and then do lib wsock 32. Sure. Okay. And then click on OK. And I think we can get away with adding this as well. And that should be us. Then click on build. Oh dear. Line 19, return. Oh, right, okay. So I need to do return 99 to show that something bad went happened. We need to do the same thing for other ones as well. We have that there. Okay, and max host was not found. So again, we'll just hard code these values in just now. So for max host, we're just going to go with, actually what we can do is we can grab that at the top here and just do hash define that as 1024. And where's the other one? The max server. We'll define that as 1024 as well. So we'll do hash define that as 1024. Okay, that should fix that. Host is not declared in this scope, probably because that's invalid. Service is not declared in this scope. Getnameinfo is not declared in this scope, and initintop is not declared in this scope. So we're probably still missing a library, but the rest of these should be fixed. Okay, so it's still complaining about getnameinfo and initTop. You know what? Let's just comment that out just now, and we'll worry about that in just a wee sec. Because the rest of it is pretty. I mean, it's pretty bare bones server. So I'm going to do build. Okay, everything is compiled. So we have everything compiled for code blocks, And then if we run it, should be able to run, debug continue. You need to specify a debugger program. Oh, okay. Well, let's just run the thing from inside here. So, why is that not working now? Debugger, okay. So GDC debugger, default, okay, executable path. Okay, so we just need to specify the executable path for the debugger. So the debugger will be inside here, bin, and it will be GDB 32. Click on OK. And OK. And now we should be able to run it. Yep, they want to allow access. Sure, let's do that. Okay, so there is, it's running just now, or it should be running. So I'll do barebones local, and I can't see whether it's working or not. It does say done though. Starting debugger. Hello. Well, it's working. So it is up and running. This is from code blocks. And we can verify that as well. We should be able to set a breakpoint in here somewhere. So I will set a breakpoint here. Toggle breakpoint. Okay, so when I send this value here, go, this is a message. You can see that we have a breakpoint here. We can, we should be able to view the contents of this. Yeah, again, I have not used this at all. Can I add that as a watch? Watch bytes received, there you go. So there's the number of bytes received, which is 17. And then we can toggle the breakpoint, and then continue that out there, and that will return the message. So that's us, we're working. That's kind of the challenge for this video, was to get this to, don't annoy me again. Yep. Was to get the code working in code blocks. So if you want to stick around, the video is done. we've completed it. We've got it working inside code blocks. By the way, it was a long time, like the actual time it took to do this. I've been recording now for 38 minutes. So I'm going to do the full length video of me faffing around, because some people like that type of video. And I'll do the cut down version for people who just want the facts. So that's what I'm going to do, is release 2 separate copies of this video. So you can pick and choose which one you want to watch, but that's where it is. This is the long version that you're watching. Thank you for sticking by. Even the long version is going to have a couple of cuts in it as well, because it's unavoidable. So let's find out where this is for code blocks. Getnameinfo. Yeah, it should be part of, do I have it in here? Include, so there's a Winsock. Do I maybe have to include Winsock as well? No, I wouldn't have thought so. Windows. Oh no, there's a Win thingy down here. Windows. There you go. ws2tcp.h. Okay. So let's substitute that. So instead of winsock.h, we've got that. And then we'll uncomment this. And we will build. Oh, doesn't like it. Oh, but it does have that. Oh, that's interesting. So that file there does include those two definitions. So that's kind of good, but we still don't have getnameinfo. And getnameinfo. Where is getnameinfo located? syssocket.h. So I don't have a socket.h. I don't think. No, I don't see it unless anyone else does. Okay, well, if I find it, I will post it into the comments section below. But I'm gonna end the video there. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. Let me know why. If you want to see any improvements. If you're watching this if you're watching these contiguously, one after the other, then you're probably wondering where the lock poppers one is. The last one of that will be next week. It's just that I've been asked a couple of times about doing a video like this for not Visual Studio, if that makes sense. So some other IDE. I will not be making a habit of this, unfortunately. It takes long enough to do the Visual Studio ones, and that's the ones that are the sort of most common one for my line of work, and also for the videos that I do here as well, because it makes it a lot easier to do Unity things. You can debug all that kind of stuff, and I'm not familiar at all with really any other IDE, so this has been a massive learning experience for me today. So that being said, I do appreciate your time to view this video, and I will catch you in the next one. So until next time, take care and keep coding. That's the important thing. Yeah, happy St. Patrick's Day, I guess.